Hey, so I wanted to talk over my procedure that I had. It's been a year since I had it. If you looked over my rib removal surgery, I talked about how I was going to do this procedure. What I had done was a mini modified tummy tuck with oblique suturing. It's been a year. Um, I love that I did it. I'm so happy. I definitely got great results from doing it. In this video, I just want to cover everything I remember that I went through and everything up to the year. I'm also going to put in the actual procedure. I have videos of them actually doing it, which is like fucking crazy. It's insane. So, all right. So, in August of last year, it's 2020 right now. So, August 2019, I had a modified tummy tuck with oblique suturing. Now, what that is like, how a regular tummy tuck is. They take the extra skin, cut it, plus in the inside, any de-stasis that you have in the abdominal wall, they stitch together. Diastasis of the abdominal wall is when there's a separation of the muscle. Some people have it, some people don't. Some people have it if they experience trauma. Some people have it if they lost a lot of weight. Some people have it if they've had children. There's different reasons why women have diastasis of the muscle wall, the abdominal muscle. Like I said, some people are just born like that. Men have it too. Anyway, so what they do is whatever spacing you have here, they stitch it together. So if your muscles are here, see how there's all this space? They'll stitch it together and they'll bring it in. Them bringing that in automatically will make your waist a little smaller depending on how many centimeters or inches of diastasis you have. So I had a very little diastasis, which was sutured together and it was brought in. But on top of that, I had oblique suturing, which at least in the United States, in other countries, it's usually regular procedure. When you do a tummy tuck, they will stitch your obliques. In the United States, they don't usually do it unless you ask for it, which people don't really think about asking for it. So it's very rare. Usually it's done with people that are really like big women to give them more of a shape. So if you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. So make sure if you are getting a tummy tuck that you do say that you want your oblique suture. The reason is, so these are your obliques. They're the muscles here on the sides. And I got them sutured in. So along with the diastasis of my abdominal wall, they took in my obliques. So they took it, so imagine this is the oblique and they pulled it in. So just how they suture right here, they took this and sutured it here. So when they did that, it brings it more together. So this is, see, my obliques are still a little pronounced, but these are my obliques. So my obliques were more out before, and now they're more like in. It's giving me this more of a pinch effect. And that was my goal. After the rib removal, yes, my waist did become more curvier right here. And then after the oblique suturing, it became even more curvy. That's my goal. My goal was to always have this curve. And I'm pleased with it. I'm still corset training because I love that even more of a pinched look when I wear my corset. This also took me down like 2 inches from my waist when I did this. Now, the reason for oblique suturing, other than you just want a small waist, is for the shape of the waist. People say, why don't you work out? You're not fat. It's nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter how much you work out. If you were built with a square torso, you're never going to get a curve here ever with working out. You're just going to get a flatter and flatter and flatter stomach and more definition. But the actual anatomy of your waist is not going to change if you were born straight, you know? So I wasn't born straight, but I wanted more of a curve. So that definitely helped. Mind you, there's some people who are square at the top, but they have hips. So they're like square and then hips. And then there's people who have the inner waist and then go out, which is what I like, more of an hourglass. It's not just barrel and hips, which I don't like that. But it is what it is. Usually girls with a longer torso have more of a, pinched in here. But I'm very, very happy with my oblique suturing and my tummy tuck. It was great. The only way to do oblique suturing is through a tummy tuck. So they cut you right here like a tummy tuck. I will show you my scar in a different video. They cut you and then they go in and they sew you up. The procedure was like a couple hours. Now, from everything I've done, it was, oh my God, like if I knew how much strain and how much of discomfort I was going to be in, I probably would have planned more accordingly because I was not prepared for how much discomfort. It was one of the hardest surgeries. Okay, from the time I got out of surgery, since it was so many hours that we were there, I think it was about 7 hours. I had my abdominal wall, my oblique suturing, and then I also did fat removal. I had a little bit of lipo, and then I had like lipo around my knees. They took out the lipo on my knees. I did the buccal fat. It was about 7 hours, and whatever, I got home, I was so damn swollen. It was crazy. And I couldn't pee. Like, I felt like I had to pee, and I just couldn't pee. It was awful. It was horrible. Like, you have to pee, and you feel it, but you couldn't. And it wasn't because of the surgery. It was the anesthesia. What happens is when you're over 4 hours of anesthesia, like it's a lot of hours that your body is asleep. So your organs are slowly waking up still, even though you're awake. So it was like my bladder was still asleep. It wasn't awake, and I couldn't pee. So I had to get, I called one of my friends, and they're a nurse, and then they put the catheter, and I got to pee because I did my surgery on a Friday. Don't ever do your surgery on a Friday because everything's closed Saturday and Sunday. So that's a tip. Because if any complications happen or something, no one's gonna call. I even had like the doctor wouldn't answer. It was just it was awful. But thank God I have friends that are nurses, and they put the catheter, and I got to pee. Oh my God, it was the greatest relief ever. Yeah. So then after that, everything was fine. Finally, my bladder woke up, and then I was able to pee again normally. That was that. And then my stomach, it's still numb sometimes. It was numb for forever. I couldn't bend over, I couldn't arch, I couldn't twerk, I couldn't dance, like for a very, very long time. Shit, there's something in my eye. Oh my God. So, yeah, so I couldn't do anything. And then, sex? No. Maybe for like, I mean, for like over a month, I didn't do anything. And then after that, 6 months probably, I just could only lay on my back, and I had to be propped up. And literally, you always had to lay, for 6 months, because I'm a skinny person. They pulled my skin really tight, so every time I would lay flat, I'd feel like a stretch. That's why. I'm not saying that's gonna feel like for everybody, because usually people that are bigger or had a lot of extra skin do a tummy tuck. And since my skin was pulled so tight, like every time it would just feel like I could feel like stretching. So I always had to keep my legs propped up on a pillow, always on my back. And I was like that for like over 6 months. And then slowly I was able to lay down without pillows underneath the back of my thighs. And then working out, I probably started working out 6 months also, but light, very light. It's been a year. I'm still working out light. I can run now, I can squat, but like back bends, like I used to be able to do a back bend. No, I cannot do back bends. I won't even attempt it. I still can't arch all the way. Um, and let's see, what else do I remember? Um, oh, so you're gonna get a faja, like this thing. Make sure to buy this like cup because yeah, other than the part that I had a problem peeing because the 7 hours of anesthesia, even if you don't do 7 hours, let's say your surgery only takes 2 hours, there's a cup. I'm gonna post the link to it, and it's great for a surgery because when you wear your faja, you're not supposed to take it off. Like there's a hole for your vagina and you're supposed to pee. But sometimes that pee just like sprays everywhere and it gets on your faja and you're like, ew, that's disgusting. And you don't want piss on your faja. So there's this like cup and you put it in the hole of your faja and it has like a little drain. It's like a funnel. And you pee and it all goes down. And it's so important to have that. I will put the link for that. I didn't have any keloids on my scar. I don't have, my scar is pretty good, they say, for the year. I do have a little hyperpigmentation because I am olive complexion and I am Latin descent. So we tend to have hyperpigmentation. You have to take that in consideration whenever you do some type of procedure and you know you're going to get cut. Your ethnicity and your complexion have a lot to do with the way you're going to scar. Let's see what else. Yeah, it was one of my most evasive procedures. It hurt the most. It has the most time to heal because like I said, sometimes I still feel numb. Oh, the bloating. I was bloated for over 6 months, maybe 8 months. Like sometimes I'd wake up thin and then by the night I was like fat. Not fat, but like bloated. That took a long time to go down. Oh, and my stomach was always like super hard. That took a while. Also to like 8 months. So just now that the year, it's just now I'm starting to be completely normal. Do I regret it? Hell no. I love it. I'm so happy. I love my results. I love the silhouette that it's given me. I'm getting closer to my goal, you know. That's the end for procedures in my stomach. Other than, I'm still going to get my massages. Oh, that's very important too. Make sure to get your lymphatic massages because that's going to drain all the fluids and it will stop you from getting fibrosis. Fibrosis is, you know, inside the tissue when they're doing all that stuff, they're scarring and you don't see it. So imagine like a scab when you cut yourself and you scab and you see the scab. Now, it's just like that, but you don't see the scab. It's under your skin. That's fibrosis. So you want to massage that before that builds up because then you get a lot of, it looks like little like crinkles and cellulite, but it's not. It's fibrosis. So you make your massage to make sure it stays smooth. It's so important to get massages in whatever procedure you get. If you get breast augmentation, lipo, BBL, tummy tuck, anything, you should always get lymphatic massages and then maintain it after that because it's still good even for your elasticity of your skin, for not to get any type of scarring or any type of complications. Like even in the boob, you can get what's the one? Capsular contractions. If you do the massages, you're less to get a capsular contraction. Anyway, I'm going aside, but yes. So like I said, I don't regret my procedure at all. I love it. What I got was a modified mini tummy tuck with oblique suturing. Again, the oblique suturing is the side muscles that are pulled in to give you more of a smaller waist, a more pinched waist, I should say. Yeah, and the only problem I had was that my bladder didn't want to wake up from anesthesia. That was the worst. So look out for that in case you're one of those people. Make sure you have a nurse or you tell the doctor so you have a catheter there for you. Also the faja, the funnel thing is very important to have. What else? I didn't have a lot of bruising at all, but arnicas works good for that. So yeah, I will also show you the procedure, how they did to me. And these are my results after a year. I'm super happy with it. So thank you guys. Okay, so here is a behind the scenes or during the actual surgery. This is me on the medical table with being cut open. As you can see, he lifted up my abdominal wall, and they're showing how they're pulling in my oblique. And you see when they pull in my oblique, how much pinched and smaller my waist becomes. So they're going to take the obliques and suture them closer to my midsection to give the effect of a smaller, tinier, pinched waist.